Yo, what's going on? Kafuzi coming to you from my backyard here in Crystal Lake, and I'm kicking off my newest training series as I get ready for the Sydney Marathon. It's the newest world marathon major. It's the farthest I'll ever have to travel for a race, and it's also the hilliest marathon I'll ever run. But before I can worry about any of those things, first I'm gonna have to survive this summer heat and also my kids' summer schedules.
Tell you that I love you.
Monday started out with my first run in the Diodora Frequenza 2. It was just supposed to be an easy run, but these shoes are light and pleasantly bouncy, so I threw some strides in there. And I really enjoyed the run.
I'll miss you if you go. Yes, I'm gonna let you know just how much I tell you, mama.
In the afternoon, I was able to convince my kids to put down the iPads for a bit and go for a bike ride. So we headed over to a little pond to feed the turtles, ducks, and fish. They all like bread, it seems.
It is a little bit before 10 a.m. in Crystal Lake on a Tuesday. Today's workout is one that I'm making up for myself as a transition from 5K to marathon training. Today I'm going to do some threshold work.
I want to let you know, oh, you're the only one for me.
A little bit of user error here on this one. I thought I had just run the run portion, but it's giving me recovery. So I don't know what that's all about, but I finished 3 sets of running. Feeling good.
Oh, there's something deep inside.
6 laps done. Feeling pretty good. I think this is right about threshold pace where I would think it would be if I were looking closely at my watch. But I'm trying not to look at my watch hardly at all.
100 times a day.
And complete. Whew. Feeling good. That was hard.
After lunch, I took my younger daughter to go ice skating. It was the middle of the day, Tuesday, so we pretty much had the ice to ourselves. My younger daughter likes to use the skate aid at first, and then when she's feeling more confident, she'll skate on her own. Neither of us are all that good at skating, but we had a good time. And then in the evening, I took the kids to the rock climbing gym. My older daughter still had a couple of team practices left before the summer break. And my younger daughter wanted to climb too. So I spent most of the time belaying her. I also did some climbing, but I usually only do the auto belays.
It is a little bit before 8 a.m. here on a Wednesday in Crystal Lake. Legs today are feeling pretty gummy. And I'm tired. This is going to be a nice, easy run.
The shoe for this recovery run was the Under Armour Infinite Elite 2. I love the way they updated the shoe. It's a lot softer and lighter than last year, but it's still got plenty of cushion. So it was a good choice for a tired day.
Just about finished with this run at a little bit over 8 miles and ended up feeling really good by the end.
After the run, I took my kids and a friend of theirs to the neighborhood pool. It was super hot and very crowded. It's like I've never seen so many kids in one place.
It is about 11 o'clock in the morning here on a Thursday in Crystal Lake. Today, I've been debating whether or not to just do another easy run or to do a session. I ended up on session. We'll see if I regret that later. But today we'll do the same workout we did Tuesday. 9 times, 4 minutes at threshold with kind of a longish recovery for at least threshold efforts. 1 minute. 6 reps done. Whew. Hovering right at 4-minute kilometers. I think I'm gonna scrap the last one. I'll just kind of jog it hard. But 7 is probably a good place to cut it for today. How tired I am, how humid it is, and how not acclimated to heat I am yet. So let's cut it here. It's still early in the marathon block.
Friday was a recovery run, and my body was feeling pretty uncomfortable. On the one hand, this was just the first week of the marathon build, but on the other hand, I also didn't exactly plan downtime between my last training block and this one. So I tried to be kind to myself and remember that I just raced a 5K PB attempt less than a week ago.
This run started out a little bit uncomfortable. I felt kind of tired on any of the uphills, but now, about 7 miles in, feeling like we got a really nice rhythm. Feeling pretty good. It is around 8 a.m. in Moraine Hills State Park on a Saturday. I'm gonna do one loop around. Should be, I think, about 8.5 miles, a little bit shy of that. Today's just a relaxing day. Let's keep it relaxed. This is the biggest hurdle I've ever seen in the wild. Oh, dude. Hi, dude.
I think I've told you all about Moraine Hills before, but it's a looped pathway that is mostly all soft surfaces with a decent amount of tree cover. There's even bathrooms along the way, so it's a lovely place to get in a bunch of miles. The only downside is that part of it can get pretty hilly. Otherwise, I'd probably run here a lot more often.
It is a little bit after 9 a.m. here on a Sunday in Bussy Woods. Father's Day today. Gotta go 2 laps around the park. Should be about 14.5 miles. I'm gonna put some speedier miles in the long run today. Let's do 10 miles at about marathon heart rate, about 160 to 165 beats per minute. A little less than 2 miles into the work phase, but a total of 4 miles so far. I'm gonna stick to my plan of kind of over fueling. Take a gel here. I've also got a little bit of a handheld. Let's go. Just passed 1 lap. Almost coming up in time to take a second gel. All right, 10 miles, hour and 12 minutes. So that's like 7:15 per mile.
Week 2 started with a very early morning flight because I was heading to Seattle to visit the Brooks headquarters. My first run of the day would be an easy group run / tour. So it was a bit of running and a bit of seeing the sights. And if you didn't know, Seattle is very hilly. So this kind of run that involved a lot of walking or taking in the views after any big hill climb was a nice way to do this run. After the first group run, we had some time before our next group event, so I added on a few extra miles. In her summer break, my older daughter has been binging Grey's Anatomy. So for my run, I decided to try and take some photos of Seattle that she might recognize from the show.
Than I do. I'm looking for you. I'm looking for you. I'm looking for you. I'm looking.
On Tuesday, we were all supposed to be meeting at the Brooks HQ to learn about and test the Hyperion Elite 5. Drew and I decided we would run from the hotel to Brooks HQ, and then we also ran together for our shoe testing. We didn't really have a plan for the testing, but we were in a racing shoe, so after a little bit of warm-up, we decided we would run some marathon-ish effort miles.
And a note fell on the floor. I'm looking for you.
And even though we were sweating pretty hard by the end of this run, the temps were actually really quite balmy compared to what I had in Crystal Lake. And the Hyperion Elite 5 was really fun to run in.
I'm looking for you.
Wednesday was a travel day, so I decided that would be a good time to take a rest day. And Thursday was just an easy run. But running in Crystal Lake after the balmy temps in Seattle made it really feel like summer was here. I was planning on running 2 laps around Crystal Lake, the lake, but I felt like quitting halfway through. Like when I passed my car, I could have just stopped running and gone home right then, but I decided I would keep going. Now, the thing about running around the lake is that there are a lot of ways to make the loop longer or shorter. And so on that second loop, I really felt like cutting it short, but I decided I would tough it out. And I'm glad I did, because by the last couple of miles, I was actually starting to feel pretty decent.
It is a little after 7:30 a.m. here at Crystal Lake on a Friday. Today is a workout day, and I want to do 6 times 6 minutes threshold, but as temperatures are getting warmer and I'm still not quite acclimated to it, I think that I need to keep the reps shorter. So I want to do my 4-minute threshold reps, keeping the rest at a minute. And also I gotta go pick up my daughter soon, so I think I'm only gonna have time for 8. Let's see how I feel. Four reps in, running them a bit faster than I think I should. I'm gonna slow it down for the last half. Eight reps done. That was hard work, but felt good, felt controlled, felt doable. Now, let's get in the car, head to Iowa. It is a little bit after 7 p.m. We made the drive out here to Iowa for my in-laws. My mother-in-law is having a big cookout this weekend, so the whole family's coming back. And it's definitely summer. It's 88 degrees. Humidity's not too bad. It's kind of windy, so it's pleasant, or as pleasant as 88 degrees can be, but I had to short my run a little bit this morning because of my schedule. So I wanted to tack on a couple more, but also I'm just really trying to acclimate to summer. And so I think getting some runs during hotter parts of the day at low stakes for this like 30-minute shakeout, I think is kind of what I need to do.
Saturday, I joined my daughter for her run. It's technically the off season for her, but her summer run coach assigned some easy miles for her over the weekend. And then afterwards, I tacked on some more miles around the neighborhood. I met a dog, and I saw some cows, and overall, it was pretty hot. Afterwards, I took my kids and some of my nieces and nephews to the pool to cool off.
It is a little bit after 7:30 a.m. here on Sunday in Dyersville. It is already quite humid, and it's going to keep getting hotter today. So, not sure what today's long run is really going to look like. So each lap is about 3 miles, and I'm gonna stop at the car at each lap just to make sure I'm not overheating. It is pretty hot and I'm still not super acclimated to the heat. I've never been great at running in heat, so I think it's gonna be pretty easy today. I'd like to get in some harder effort miles in the middle here, but it was gonna be pretty slow. I'm gonna go by heart rate, make sure I'm just not overdoing it. I don't want to dig too big a hole this far out from the race. All right, 2 laps in. It's really hot. I was hoping to get a lot more work in, but I think I'm just gonna top up my handheld, make sure it's topped up every lap, and do a couple more easy laps. That's gonna be hard enough. Finished the 3rd lap. Whew, I'm having a hard time keeping my heart rate under control even at easy effort. Although this easy effort doesn't feel easy because it's hot, because it's hilly. Let's see if we could do one more. 14 miles. That was hot, real hot.
After the run, we all went to the pool again. Now this pool happens to be near a freight train line, and whenever the freight train goes by, all the kids at the pool pretty much lose it whenever the train blows its horn. It's very fun to see.
So with the temps and humidity increasing, training was becoming harder and harder. But people run in hotter and more humid temps than this all the time. So there's gotta be a way that I can manage to train in this kind of weather too, right? Over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to try and figure out ways that I can manage this summer heat. It is a little bit before 9 a.m. here on a Monday back home in Crystal Lake. It is hot. I wish I could have gotten running a little bit earlier today. Guys, this is the biggest turtle I've ever seen in the wild. Oh, it's like a dinosaur. Oh, sorry, bud. All done with the run. Felt decent. My legs were garbage at the start, but by the end, things kind of loosened up, and I survived the heat one more day. It is the hottest day yet. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Wednesday here in Crystal Lake. Temperatures are over 90 degrees. Humidity is kind of not terrible, and I'm feeling not as miserable as I thought I would. So either the humidity really isn't that bad, or I might be getting acclimated to the heat.
This was my first run in the Hyperion 3. I got this pair of shoes when I was in Seattle with Brooks, and I wore it casually when I was getting a tour of the Brooks HQ, and it felt good enough as a walking shoe. But today was my first time actually running in the shoe, and it was a big surprise. It's soft, it's squishy, and it's fun as a daily trainer. So I was very impressed. Later that evening, I took my daughter to a rock climbing practice, and I got on the wall again too. Now normally I don't climb all that often, but my daughter wants me to learn how to support her for a more advanced kind of climbing, and there's a class for it at the gym, but before I can take it, a prerequisite is that I have to be comfortable climbing a certain level of difficulty, so I've been working on improving my skills.
It is super hot out today for my session, 9 times 4 minutes threshold. I'm gonna try this new head cooling strip, see if that helps. I'm not sure that this thing feels cold, but it just feels like everything is not as hot as it is based on the temperature. So my body still feels warm, but not as hot as it should, I think. Could just be placebo too. Time of day, overcast, who knows. Just keep going.
The Omius headband is made out of graphite and works by evaporative cooling. The sweat that drips onto it from your head isn't quite enough to keep you cool, so you do have to wet it and re-wet it periodically.
Legs are feeling pretty trashed. It is a little bit before 10 a.m. So about 15 hours since I last ran. And it's still hot. Today I'm testing the Omi strip again. I'm gonna do 2 laps. Just lap around here. Well, you could mess around with the distance, but I'm gonna do 2 5-mile laps. First lap without the headband, second lap with. Nice and easy today.
So the Omius headband worked okay, but it's not cheap. So to round out my testing, I needed to try some other heat mitigation options. Next up was ice in a bandana.
It is a little bit less hot today than it has been, although it rained last night, so the humidity is high. And so far, this ice bandana is so cold that it hurts the back of my neck. About 30 minutes into the run, there's still ice back there. I can hear it jingling around, and it still feels cold on my neck. But this run feels like trash. It's not great. Not feeling good. I don't think it has to do with the ice bandana and whether it is or isn't working. I think it is helping quite a bit. I just think that it's been a long week and a lot of miles.
Something new in Crystal Lake this year was that there is now an aqua park at one of the lakes. It's basically a giant bouncy house on the water. It was a great way for me and the kids to cool off.
It is another very hot day here in Crystal Lake. I'm gonna try the Omi strip. One more big test to see if I can get this thing to make a real difference. Finish the first rep. Paces are gonna be slow today because I'm exhausted. It's been a really long week, and it's also been a tough week with mileage and with the temperatures. But the plan for today is I switch up from my electrolyte bottle to a water-only bottle. And rather than hydrating myself, I brought a gel Then I'm going to use this to hydrate the band, and we'll do that every other rep, so about every 8 minutes.
Trying to take her out the venue. She's somebody that don't need nobody. She's just stuck in my head. Lives the satisfaction, I can't get no reaction. She's just stuck in my head. She's somebody that don't need nobody. She's still stuck in my head. Lives the satisfaction, I can't get no reaction. She's still stuck in my head.
One more. Let's get to number 9. Need a lot of water for this one.
I want a conversation, but her body's moving all night long.
I definitely do not feel like this thing is keeping me cold, but this is a workout that I wouldn't have even attempted in these temperatures otherwise.
Get this girl's attention.
One of our family goals this summer was to try and visit all the pools in the area. So that afternoon, we went a couple towns north to try a new pool. It was the hottest pool day I think I've ever experienced, so it was a good day for a swim.
It is a little bit after 9 a.m. on a Sunday. Today is going to be, I think, the hottest day of the year so far. I have kind of a recovery run today since I worked out yesterday, but I'm at Bussy Woods. Each lap is 7 miles, so I figure I'll just do 2 very easy laps. But to stay cool, I've got arm sleeves, ice bandana, bucket cap. Everything has been soaked. Let's see if I can make it.
Ice bandanas are probably the most effective for keeping you cool in the heat, but I think they're also the worst when they need refilling. It's like a damp towel clinging humidity around your neck, and the whole thing just feels clammy if it's not full of ice.
All right, finished 1 lap. Let's recharge ice bandana and get these sleeves wet again.
The arm sleeves were really nice when they were wet, but they dried off super quick. And I don't think they made me any hotter, but they didn't do a lot of cooling when dry. But it is nice to not have to worry about sunscreen when you're wearing the arm sleeves.
It is a little bit after 7:30 a.m. here on a Monday in Crystal Lake. Temps are not so bad, at least compared to what I've been running in, but still warm and humid today. It rained a bunch last night, so it is pretty muggy. But today is just an easy day, and my legs are feeling pretty trashed from the last week of work and heat, so I'm just gonna take it super easy today. It is a little bit after 9 a.m. on a Tuesday here in Crystal Lake. Fortunately, the temperatures have started to break a little bit from the heat wave we've been having, and it's a lot less humid today. Now I've got a workout on deck. My legs still feel pretty trashed and I'm exhausted, but hopefully the nicer weather will make it doable. Two laps in, I don't feel as bad so far as I did on the warm-up, so maybe this workout day wasn't a bad idea after all. Four laps complete. Feeling decent. And not fast, not strong, but decent. Let's go. Last lap complete. Whew. Came in at 4 minutes per kilometer, 20-minute 5K pace, 6:26 per mile for the last one, which is, I feel like, right where my fitness is, given where we are in the summer and these heats. So on a day where I was feeling really fatigued and my legs were feeling trash, being able to crank that out, I hope, is a good sign.
Wednesday was a recovery run, just some easy miles in the Bondi 9. And after a couple of initial clunky miles, I was feeling pretty good. Part of me was thinking that maybe I finally acclimated to the heat. But really, I think it's just that the temps were about 10 degrees cooler that day.
It is a little bit after 7 a.m. here on a Thursday in New Vienna, Iowa. We were back for the holiday weekend. Temperatures are, on paper, they're rather balmy. We're around 70 degrees, but it is humid, so not quite as cool as the temperatures might indicate, but does feel a lot better than it has been feeling lately. Red-winged blackbirds are pretty vicious everywhere they are. They're very territorial and they are organized, but I've never met ones that are nastier than the ones on this particular road. My mother-in-law says every time she rides through here, they always attack her bike helmet. And right now, they're starting to circle. You see them. There's one at that telephone pole. There's two at that telephone pole. There's one at that telephone pole and two more at that telephone pole further down there. So they're setting themselves up as sentries. There's two on the line up there. There's one on the telephone pole there. There's one on the line up there. Equidistant. One swoops down for a while as you run by, and then once you get too far from its home, the next one comes in. They're organized.
Friday was the 4th of July, and I drove myself down to Dubuque so I could race a 4th of July 5K. The only problem was that once I got there, there was some water, like there was going to be a race, but there were no people. Just an empty parking lot.
So I'm pretty sure that I just came here on the wrong day. Today's Friday, the 4th. I'm pretty sure the race is on the 5th. So I just messed up the dates, but let's turn this into, I was gonna use this as a double threshold day anyway. So let's try to do the route. Hopefully I won't have any cars that'll be an issue today, which I don't think will be a problem, but let's do the route. Let's do 5K at threshold.
So the reason I really wanted to do a 5K race on that day is because I think I've been developing a bit of a phobia of 5Ks. They're really hard, they hurt in a way that my body really doesn't like, and I feel like there's a lot of pressure when I'm faced with the idea that I need to be pushing my body to the red line for the entirety of a race, and I do not like that pressure. Now, I did just come off a 5K training block, and I did just race a 5K a few weeks prior, but I did not enjoy the racing aspect of that experience. And it feels like there's just something mental that's not only keeping me from performing like I think I should be able to for the 5K, but I think there's something mental that's keeping me from enjoying the 5K. So I'm going to try and do a bunch of 5Ks so that I can maybe lift some of that pressure and that weight from the 5K. I don't necessarily need to love racing this distance, but I don't want to be afraid of it anymore.
That was hard. I'm trying to get used to doing things that are difficult. I think the way I picked ended up being more hilly too. So please clap for me.
After I got back to my mother-in-law's, my daughter wanted to go for a run, so I joined her for a few miles. It was supposed to be an easy 2 miles for her, but she was feeling good, so we went for 3. The corn is getting very tall though, so it was very hot and humid.
So this might be a really bad idea because it is really, really hot, but I've been waiting for hours. I don't think the temperatures are gonna get any easier on me. So I'm gonna go for my second workout of the day. I've put on the watch 10 times 3 minutes at threshold pace. We'll see if we get through that many. Every other rep, it's slightly uphill, which means every other rep it's also slightly downhill. But the uphill ones are the ones that really bother me. Four laps complete. I'm hitting the water on the Omius headband every 2 reps. On attempts like this, I still don't feel like that's enough. A lot of work and a lot of heat, even with the band. I think I'm gonna cut it to 8 reps today. $10 a.m. on a Saturday here in New Vienna. Let myself sleep in last night after a really big day yesterday. This run is a lot hotter than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to cool down by the weekend, but it has not. At least it's a little breezy, but it's going to be a really chill 10 miles.
Sunday morning, we had to return to Crystal Lake. My older daughter would be leaving to go to her first ever sleepaway camp. And so we had to get back in town in time to drop her off. And then I had time to go for my run. It was raining for most of the run, which was like a reward after the last 4 weeks of relentless heat.
So that's it for the first 4 weeks of Sydney Marathon training. The paces aren't where I want them to be and the workouts aren't as long as I want them to be, but I hope that by adjusting the duration of my threshold sessions and by adjusting the intensity of the long runs, that I'm giving myself the biggest amount of stimulus that I can usably handle while surviving the rigors of this summer heat. So hit the subscribe button so you can see the next 4 weeks of training. I'll do some more double threshold sessions, I'll race some more 5Ks, and we'll see if I can survive training for Sydney.